Hello Flosstube, it's Lori of MischievousStitches. I want to welcome everyone to my channel this weekend. I'm very glad that you're here with me today. I have several things to share with you this weekend concerning my cross stitch. I have a couple of frame pieces. I have a work in progress, a little tiny bit of haul, some gifties, and a couple of giveaway winners. So if you want to sit down here at the table with me, grab a cup of coffee or a glass of cold beverage and sit down with me, let's get started. So this year I've focused a lot on my whips. I've made a few starts, a few finishes, but primarily I've continued to work on my whips, and it's bringing me a lot of happiness to be able to finish these items and sort those supplies back into my my stash. So I want to share with you what I've worked on this week. I was hoping for a finish, but those of you that watched the last video know that I have a new puppy. It's been a very joyful adventure, but we're right in the middle of potty training. He's taking a nap right now. So I thought I'd get a quick video in, but it's really eating into my cross stitch time, which I'm perfectly fine with. I don't feel safe having him up in my stitch room, not only for his safety, but for the safety of my cross stitch, and my yarns and everything else that's there. So I've spent what little bit of stitching time that I've had downstairs in the living room, which is where I used to stitch, but I make sure to store it all away and make sure that I'm stitching when he is sleeping. But last weekend I shared with you that whip, and it is Quaker Handework by Brenda of With Thy Needle and Thread. I started this a couple of years ago, and I'd have to look back to see the actual date that I started, but I started it with Lynette of Homesteading on the home front. She did it as a stitch along for those of us here on Flosstube and that watched Flosstube at that time, and I really loved it that year. So I purchased it, I kitted it up, and I got a start on it. So here are the threads. It calls for it's got classic color works, weeks dye works, the gentle arts, and it has some DMC, so it has a little bit of everything. The only DMC that it has is DMC 610, but they're very beautiful colors. They match my decor in the stitch room perfectly, as well as here downstairs. And I am stitching it on a piece of, it was one of my first pieces of HQ Designs, and I believe this is Grandmother's Slip. And here is where I got. So when I left you last week, I had been working in with these birds here on this. I wouldn't necessarily, it's not necessarily a branch, it's too symmetrical for that, but that's what I'm gonna call it here in the video, is on that branch. And I got that finished up all but the bird on the right's legs. So I moved over and I have finished this half motif, half motif, half motif, started the one below that one, and that's gonna be the last one on that side before you turn the corner. So I have two more half motif, Quaker motifs in the border before I can work towards the finish in the center. And today I've slowly worked, I've completed this, not completed this, but the stitching that you see there, I've completed today within Little Hank's naps. So he's been having fun this week getting to know us. He's been with us a week now. I swear he has grown longer in that week, and I know how much and how quickly a puppy grows, having grown up with dogs. He's just been a joy, he really has, and he follows my husband everywhere, so I think he's bonded to my husband. But I don't count my husband as lucky because he didn't have a dog growing up. I think that seeing him with one now, I can only imagine a young Clint walking or having a dog follow him like this. But he whimpers when Clint walks out the door. With Clint sitting in the chair, he's wanting to get in his lap. He just really has bonded with my husband. And you know, one of my greatest joys in life is to see others love my children and love my husband like that. So it makes me love that little one, my little Hank, even more to see him bond with my husband like that. So, but anyway, so that's the reason there's not much stitching. I'm gonna try very hard to get this one finished this week. I do have a couple of things that I wanted to make small starts on, and they're ornaments again, little Santas. I have one of the Prairie Schooler cards, and of course I didn't bring it here with me, but it's a tiny one. It's a tiny Santa, and he's running. He's in the motion, you know, his legs are, he's running with a tree in one of his arms held out in front of him, and he's in red, white, and a dark brown as the background. And so I'm hoping to either pick that one up and make a small finish on that one, or I was gifted by several of you reached out. Someone reached out when I offered to trade my heartstrings Santa. I had the Kringle Calendars. I only had the January, and I reached out and to see if anyone wanted to swap, do an even swap for my January for one of the other months that I didn't have. And so many of you have reached out and have gifted me Santas, and I wanted to share the ones I've gotten, and I really, really love them. And so because of the kindness that you all have shown to me with gifting these to me, as I work them in and finish them, or any duplicates I have, I'm going to offer them up as giveaways here on the channel too in the coming weeks, because I have a few just to repay that kindness, because I do monetize my videos, and so I do make a little bit, and it enables me to get a little stash. I'm never going to get rich on it, but I feel like because of you guys watching me, and it gives me that little bit of cash, that's one of the reasons I do like to do the giveaways, because I'm just passing that back to you, because without the views, that little bit of money would not be there. But I just, if you know what I mean, I just want to pay the kindness of you all watching my videos forward back to you all. So I'm going to share the ones that I've received this week. Now, a couple of them I did buy, but I was putting them in order to see what I was missing. And so now they're all jumbled. So if you reached out and have sent me some of the Kringle Calendars and some of the other, and I found out later on and from you guys that Pat Thode, who is the designer for heartstrings, had yearly, what do you call them, collections of these Santas. I just happened to pick up one from the Kringle Calendar, but you're gonna see a couple of the others. So some of you have sent me links to different websites, whether it be brick and mortar shops or de-stash sites, or some of the, I would call them bent and gently used charts that were being resold sites. And thank you so much for doing that. Some of those sites I had never heard of before. So thank you so much for doing that. But like I said, once, as I stitch them and any duplicates I receive, I will pay them forward. But of all the ones that I did receive, now this one I do know I ordered, I loved the whole concept of this one. So if I do not start the Prairie Schooler Santa that I just shared with you, I will be starting this one. And this is from a collection called, as you can see at the top, the Santa Factory. And this is from 1997. Now the January was 2001. But I love the checkerboard moon and that he's sitting on the moon. And you would think, oh, he's sitting on the moon because he's resting from his travels. No, if you notice, it looks as though he has PJs on. So his hat is not the typical hat with the white ball and the white fur trim. It is looks a little more like pajamas. And he is holding a teddy bear. And I'm not sure that I'll put a teddy bear there, but I just really like this Santa a lot. And he is stitched on 32 count amber linen. So I have pulled some other linen to start him on. I'm not gonna order another piece of linen. I'm not even sure if that color is still available, but he is a total of 59 stitches wide by 64 high. And so that's that one. And now I'm gonna go right back to the Kringle Calendars, and these are the ones I have received from you guys. So I have January, and I have stitched January, but this is February. And they do, it seems like the one that I did had one chronic thread and one color of bead, and that is what this one has as well. So it's all DMC with the exception of some Mill Hill beads and a Crynet braid. So that's February. And then I have March. And so he's holding a shepherd's crook and he has a shamrock there. So these are just monthly specific. So they're kind of catered to those months. This is May. And if you notice, he has a biscuit there in his hand and a net. So he's cute. I don't know if it's warm enough to be wearing all that clothing, those overcoats and undercoats and boots that time of year, but hey, it's Santa, do your thing. Okay, that was May, and I skipped over, I had April, I thought I had put them in order. I really like this one too. And this is the April Santa, and I love the bunny with their flowers, little brown flowers. I love the colors and the tones and the shading in this one. And I don't know if I said, but these are from 2001. These are 2001. So this is the set that I was had the January from. So it's 2001. The Santa Factory was 97. So that's April, and then we're going to drop to September. There's this one. This one was waiting in the mailbox for me on Friday. And then I have an October. And he is different. I'm not so sure I like that house. It just looks like a leaning, dilapidated house in those colors. He's holding a trick-or-treat black cat tote there, and there's a little beaded ghosty. I'm not sure about those things. I like the candy bag here, the candy basket. I'm not so sure about that. I may make some changes with him. But I love how full his beard is and then it kind of curves there at the end. And then there's November. And as you can see, it looks like he's carrying 2 stars in one hand, and the other hand, it looks like a lantern, but there is a small pumpkin in it. I think I will change that and make it, try to make it into a little candle. And I love him too. He kind of looks like Gandalf. And then I received some of the World of Santa. So I don't think there's as many of these as they are the 12 monthly series, but this is the World of Santa, and this is the Australian Santa, which if I stitch these, this would be the first one I stitched. I really like him. And then we have one from Denmark. I love the colors in this one too. It's red, but it's different shades of red, and those blue, the blue of the top part of his pants. Love that. And then this is the France Santa. Love that one too. And then I received these this week, and I really like these as well. Oh, I'm missing one of the worlds. I didn't realize. This is one I ordered. And, you know, there's something to me that I really love about the wise men and the story of the wise men, the biblical story of the wise men. And this just says the World of Santa, and it's for Spain. But I like that the theme is the wise men, and then you've got the gifts, frankincense and myrrh, gold, and then you have camel down here. So this is one of the others. I think when I purchased this one, I had found this one on eBay at the same time, and I purchased this one because I just really love the wise men. Okay, now back to the other ones. These are the last ones. These were from 1999, and these are the 12 days of Santa. So on the first day of Christmas, Santa gave to me a cardinal and a pine tree. And then second day, two woolen socks, I love his quilted overcoat. Love that. 3 Christmas wreaths for day 3. And they all look quilted, so if you're a quilter, these may appeal to you too. 4 candy canes. And I love this one. I think this one is my favorite. And this is 5 shining stars, day 5. Six cookies baking. 7 hearts a-lovin'. I like to say that one. 8 reindeers leaping. 9 teddies playing, even though that teddy looks like he's in his PJs. He's not playing very much. 10 mittens drying. All of us know how that feels, that even here where we get very, very little snow. But when we do, we all know about being outside trying to build a snowman or just playing in the snow, snowball fight, about those gloves getting drenched, and they need to dry. So 11 snowmen dancing. 12 angels singing. And this is one separate one. This is another, what do I say? What do I call it? Another series. This one is the Santa Gathering, and this is the only one I've had of this one, and this one is from '99. And I've seen these, and they all kind of have the same pose. Their arm is outstretched, they're holding something, but they may be orientated towards the left instead of the right, or vice versa. But like this one, I love that blue and that red together. It really appeals to me. So there's that, so you know what I'm going to be working on this week and when I may start. I also had a sweet friend, Martha. She is a local stitcher, and she follows my Flosstube. And even though after talking with her, we kind of travel in the same stitching circles, and chances are we've probably gathered together locally and we just never had the opportunity to meet. But she come into my place of work this week, and it kind of took me aback. She's smiling, she's very friendly, and she leaned forward towards me and she said, "I love your videos." And I just kind of paused. It was so unexpected. But I had the opportunity to talk to her a couple more times this week, and I hope to someday be able to someday soon to be able to sit close by across the table like this one and stitch with Miss Martha. But on Friday she come by and she said she was going through her stash and she thought might like to have this. So this is a piece of Christmas banding, and it has red ribbon down the side with reindeer and with Christmas trees, and then it has, this is a little felt gingerbread man. And there's a couple of alphabets that I have that are in white, and I thought I could easily incorporate those onto this piece if the counting's gonna work out right. So thank you, Martha, so much, and I look forward to one day stitching with you soon. Okay, so the little bit of haul that I received, I know we still have COVID, there's a lot of things going on, but it took over a month. I want to say a month and a half to receive this. I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I want to be understanding of the things going on and to kind of let it wash down my back. But it just wasn't even, it got here within a week of it being mailed out, but I received nothing saying that it was out of stock, nothing saying that there would be a delay. All the pieces that I ordered three things with the same order, but I had to keep checking back to see, and it would show that it had not even been prepared yet. So I was really disappointed. But I want to share with you what I got. I'm sure some of you have seen this. It's been out for a couple years now. I've wanted it for a while because the initials in this sampler are my initials, and it has been done as a stitch along by Saltbox Stitcher for her daughter. And seeing everyone's finishes made me want to get it that much more. But this is LW Motif Sampler by Samplers Not Forgotten. And I ordered a piece of Winter Moon, 36 count Winter Moon Edinburgh linen. I thought it would work really well, and it's coming off more yellow with this lighting. It's a dreary, not dreary, I'll say overcast, rainy day here today. I know it looks sunshiny right here, but it's not. The sun's behind the clouds. It feels really good outside. But I know it's going to be steamy. So there's that. But it actually has like a light peachy pink finish to it. I really love the color, but in this light it's looking yellow and it's not. And the other thing I got, it's a sweet little small, and it said kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul. And right now with so many, with everything that's went on this past year and people being at home, and there just seems to be so much frustration and irritation. I see it at work, you know, I see it on the news, which I try to avoid watching. But at the same time, they can't be the kind words can never be valued high enough. They are just, it's worth it to speak those kind words, because you never ever know what someone else is going through. Some people share things, some people don't. Some people hide things. That's me, I'm a hider. And kind words. So this is a new to me Primrose Cottage Stitches, a new to me designer. I've never stitched one of their pieces before, but it was the sentiment here that drew me to it, and the fact that I've been gardening this summer and there's always bumblebees, and that's the reason I purchased this one. So there's that. All right, let me get to my stitched pieces. I did get them framed. I have not taken them out of the framing because I think I'm gonna take them back tomorrow. I picked them up yesterday. The gentleman that I have been using for about 2 years now to frame is no longer at my local Hobby Lobby. I was disappointed when I took these in, but I was wanting to get them framed, and I wanted them kind of close, and I said, you know, I want a quarter to half inch all the way around the edges. And I don't think this gentleman, he was very kind, very professional when he dealt with me, but at the same time, when I dropped them off, I don't think he took into account the lip between the edge of the frame and on the inner part of the frame where you place the glass into the frame. And I want to show you what I mean by that. So this is God Bless America. I love the framing that I chose. As you can see, I chose it because it reminded me of mountains. And of course, this is the song God Bless America, where it mentions from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. But you can't see the top of my bee. Now you can see the edging over here. Now, here, but the last 2 stitches on this motif at the bottom are hidden, and this up here is hidden by a stitch or 2. Now the sides, this is the very edge of it, but I wanted some of the fabric to show. Now I do know for framers out there, I understand that that the fabric pulls and gives. I get that. I just think that this gentleman just did not take into account the framing edging. So I've just kind of, because I know I don't know that he's new to that business. I know he's new to the framing department, and I wasn't gonna take it back, and I'm like, no, that's a lot of money for me to pay to be unhappy. And even though my husband may not notice, I notice right off. And then this one took me several months to stitch, and it's the same situation, but because I dropped them off at the same time. So this is Southern Land by Al Forrest Embroidery. And I'm gonna get it close because on the outside there's an every other stitch border at the top part. So there's a stitch of space, a stitch of space. So every other stitch. And you can't even see it. You can see it some there at the top, up here. And you can see it some here, but not consistently. And the bottom, now with the bottom, it has the same thing. But the bottom, they've met it up with the bottom of these squares. This one's touching the edge. This one has a stitch or, the width of a stitch or two away from the edge. So the frame is just not quite big enough on both of them. I do like the framing. I was a little unsure. It is a blue. It looks like it is a frame that was painted blue and then overpainted with a, painted white and then overpainted with a blue. And I was unsure of it because the color was not quite this. It didn't match any of the blues in it. But now that I have it back, and as you can see now, I think it looks great. And because the color is just a little off, it allows that dark blue in this piece to show through. So I think I'm gonna stick with the same frames on both of them. I just need them to widen them. And then, like I said, this side just sinks down. Can you see how it sinks down at a slant like this, right here? So Miss Martha, when she visited, we were talking, she actually used the same framer I did. So she had, when she come in, we were talking stitching, of course, and she did not realize that he had left, and she was curious how I would feel about those, and when I picked them up. So Miss Martha, if you see me here before you see me at work, I'm gonna be taking them back. All right, so I had a couple giveaway winners. Did I bring my notebook with my, oh my goodness. No, I do have it. So last week I gave away Hello Fall by Plum Street Samplers. I finished this one up last week, and the winner for that one is Deborah Davis. Now Deborah, I left it, if you know Deborah, reach out and send her a comment just in case she doesn't watch my video this week, and let her know that she won, if you know her. And Deborah, if you get my message, I've already responded to your comment and left you information on how to get me your mailing address, but as soon as I get that, I'll get this out into the mail. And the other winner was for these Fine Lines magazines. I have 3 of them. I shared them last week. I just have duplicates of them. And the winner for these was Eva Islami. So Eva, if you know Eva, please reach out to her and let her know she's won. And Eva, I have left a comment on your comment for this as well. If you'll just get in touch with me with your mailing address, I'll get these out to you. So this week, I pulled a few more. A couple more things that I'd like to give away. And these are 2 Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly magazines. The first one is going to be volume 12, and this one has a Christmas, and it looks like a Maryville. I didn't look inside to see, but it looks like a Maryville stocking, and I see that Lorraine Rags to Stitches has been working on one of these, but there's that one. And this is from, this is Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly 1999, volume 17. So if you're interested in these, when you leave a comment below, just comment with the number 12 or the number 17 for the episode, for the issue 17 and number 12. So this coming week, I'm going to continue working potty training with my little one. We're working on No right now and Stay. I'll let you know how that goes. Once again, he's bringing me so much joy. I love puppy cuddles, and I love the smell of his breath and how smooth his little ears are. But anyway, I'm just enjoying him very much. So I may not get as much done this week as I would normally, but that time will come back. He's only going to be a puppy for so long. And I'm going to enjoy that time while I've got it. But I hope to finish up Quaker Handework by next video and make a start on one of those Santas. I hope you all enjoy the coming week, that you find some joy somewhere, whether it be a puppy or your stitching or your family or your grandchildren or your spouse. I hope that you enjoy this week to the fullest. Please do me a favor, spread those kind words. I'm going to practice what I'm preaching. I'm going to make sure this week a goal to just spread kind words, not because I feel that they need it, but because I feel that they're needed by the person I'm speaking them to, but because they're needed in the world right now. So I don't have anything else for you at the moment, so this is kind of a short and sweet little video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll come back next week. And until then, hugs and stitches, everyone. Bye-bye.